Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the absolutely insane, high-stakes, pressure cooker world of a modern presidential campaign. We're going to do it by breaking down the political drama margin of errors. This is our look at the anatomy of a fictional, but maybe all too real, race for the White House.
And well, this line says it all, doesn't it? It comes from the campaign's cynical old-school strategist, Frank Morello, and it just perfectly sets the tone. This is a brutal, zero-sum world. Every single move is calculated, and the stakes could not be higher. This isn't really about ideals, it's about sheer survival. And that really gets us to the core question of the whole story. What is the real price of power? Seriously, is it your principles, your relationships, maybe even your own identity? This one question just hangs over every single character and every decision they have to make.
So, at the very heart of this storm is Vice President Bailey. Her bid for the presidency is historic, and it's surrounded by this really complex cast of characters. Let's meet the key players. Okay, so this is where it gets juicy. What you're looking at here is basically a powder keg of ambition. On the surface, right, they look like a loyal team, but look closer. The campaign manager, Evelyn, she's already lining up her next job. The idealistic staffer, Zoe, she's secretly writing a tell-all book. Frank, the old strategist, is playing his own games with a super PAC. And Marcus, get this, he's a mole for the other side. It's an absolute masterclass in conflicting loyalties. And you can just imagine the immense pressure all this puts on the candidate herself. I mean, this isn't just a political race for her. It's a battle against history, against expectations, and against the relentless scrutiny that comes with trying to break such a huge barrier. So just as the campaign is really getting its legs, an external threat emerges that is, well, it's almost too wild to believe. It becomes their first major crisis, and it forces the team to make a really critical choice about what kind of campaign they're actually going to run. So put yourself in their shoes for a second. The news breaks that your opponent, this guy Harrison Rutherford III, isn't just running for office. He's allegedly building his own private army. What do you do? Do you go on the attack, or do you try to take the high road? And just look at the details here. I mean, the sheer audacity of this opponent is off the charts. We're talking about millions of dollars funneled into a shell company, a private militia of over 500 mercenaries disguised as an environmental group, and a whistleblower who has the receipts. Financial records, training videos, the whole thing. This isn't just dirty politics, this is something else entirely. A scandal this big, of course, immediately splits the campaign right down the middle. On one side, you've got Evelyn, the pragmatist. She sees a golden opportunity to attack. Reasonable doesn't win elections, she says. But then you have Bailey, who insists on taking a principled stand. We need to be better than them, she argues. It's that classic head versus heart dilemma you see in politics all the time. But here's the thing. While the team is fighting this big enemy on the outside, the real danger, well, it's brewing right inside their own headquarters. And you can really feel that internal tension in this quote from Zoe, the young, idealistic staffer. She's frustrated. She feels like they're compromising their bold ideas just to appeal to some mythical moderate voter. It's a battle for the very soul of the campaign. Do you moderate your message to win, or do you stand for something, even if it might cost you the election? So while this big ideological debate is happening right out in the open, those secret betrayals we talked about, yeah, they're actively undermining everything. A mole is leaking strategy, a tell-all book is in the works, the campaign is literally being attacked from the outside and hollowed out from within at the exact same time. And that kind of pressure, it doesn't just stay at the office. The next crisis really shows how the brutal demands of a campaign can bleed into a candidate's personal life, basically creating a war on two fronts. So, this ambitious reporter starts digging, and she digs up a ghost from the past. But it's not from Bailey's past, it's her husband's. Turns out he was involved in this controversial medical study back in his residency, one that had some really severe complications for the people in it. And just like that, the campaign isn't just about policy anymore, it's about family secrets.
Yeah, this quote from Bailey's husband, Joshua, is just, it's heartbreaking. It perfectly captures the personal cost of her ambition. He feels like he's come in second place to the campaign, like he's a casualty of this relentless, all-consuming race for the presidency. So you've got the external attacks, the betrayals from within, the personal crises. It's all a pressure cooker. And it all builds to this single, critical moment, the climax of the story, where all that pressure finally causes a catastrophic public failure.
This stage could not be bigger. It's a nationally televised debate, the largest audience of the entire campaign. We are talking about 100 million people watching. There is absolutely zero room for error. The stakes are at their absolute peak. And then it happens. The gaffe. Under the brightest lights imaginable, Bailey fumbles the numbers on her own signature healthcare policy. Now, she knows this stuff cold, but in that one moment, the pressure just cracks the foundation, and she completely blanks. And the consequence is immediate, and it is brutal. A 5-point drop in the polls. Overnight, just like that. A single, stark number that shows you just how unforgiving the political arena can be. One mistake, and years of work can just start to unravel. And the fallout is just this total cascade of negativity. Social media explodes with hashtags. Her opponent immediately coins this demeaning nickname for her. The media starts questioning her competence, donors get really spooked, and the entire campaign is thrown into a desperate 24/7 damage control operation. Okay, so let's step back and pull all of these threads together. This story is really a deep dive into the almost impossible pressures of modern politics and what it truly, truly takes to win. I mean, when you lay it all out like this, you realize she is under siege from every possible angle. She's fighting a ruthless opponent and a hostile media. She's navigating a disloyal team. She's managing a family crisis. And she's trying to recover from her own public failure. It is a perfect storm of political and personal turmoil. And in the face of this absolute firestorm, the play really forces us to ask what we truly want from our leaders. How much pressure can one person actually take? And what kind of person is willing to endure this meat grinder for a chance to lead? Which leaves us with this final provocative question. Vice President Bailey tries to run a campaign that's based on principles and integrity. But in a game this brutal, is that a path to victory, or is it a fatal weakness? The play doesn't give you an easy answer, and it kind of leaves you wondering where the fiction ends and where our reality begins.